What's going on, everybody? Logan here for a new video, and today we are talking about why nobody's talking about the coming housing crash and how me, as somebody, I'm not in real estate. I pay attention to real estate very closely because I am looking to buy, but why is nobody talking about the coming housing crash? I mean, I took an economics class in high school and college. I can see the writing on the walls that the housing market is about to tumble, and anybody who bought from April to July, you're gonna get screwed when it comes to the coming housing crash. Really, anyone who's bought from 2020 and on. Now, people who bought early on, you may have enough equity in your house, you may be you may be set, you may be okay. But the people who bought this year specifically, they're gonna get screwed, and it's a large part to do to government intervention. People cannot be evicted, people cannot be foreclosed on, and most of that is coming to an end very quickly. Foreclosures have already started, evictions, they're set to start on people who are renting houses. They're gonna start in, I believe it's 14 or 13 days now, and when those evictions start, rent prices are gonna go straight down. Those people who haven't been able to get any money from the renters, they may sell their houses. They're at very least gonna have to be competitive and start lowering their rent prices. But let's get back to the topic of the video. Why is nobody talking about it? When I say nobody, I mean there are people online talking about it, like Real Estate Mindset. I watch him a lot. He is a very useful person as far as real estate goes. If you aren't subscribed to him and you're interested in real estate, definitely go over there, check him out, subscribe to him. He is a very intelligent person, very informative videos. Definitely go check him out. But when I say why is nobody talking about it, it is why is the media not talking about it? And why? It's because money. The second they announce that we are in a housing recession, a housing crash, everyone's going to make it that much worse. They're going to immediately go to sell if they're right there. Like, if they owe a certain amount and they have a little tiny bit of equity, they're going to try to sell their house so that they don't lose out very big whenever their house price just falls out from underneath them, and all of a sudden they have a $400,000 house, but now it's valued at $250,000, $300,000. They want to get out quick. So as soon as big media mentions anything about a housing crash, anything about a housing recession, that's game over. That is when the housing market crashes. You look at large property investors like Blackstone, who have invested billions into the housing market. Well, they all of a sudden release that they are going to step away from single family houses. They're going to start selling their properties. You look at other investment groups that have a large amount of money in the housing market. Well, you know what? Big media, they're going to let them sell off their houses, let them make their profits. And then once they've sold off the majority of their housing units, then they're going to announce, oh, there's a housing recession. Oh, there's a housing crash. Because as of right now, the only thing they're saying is that there's a housing cool down. Well, I'm over here in Texas. I am just outside Houston in the Woodlands, and I'm looking at new housing developments. There are already $60,000, $70,000 price decreases on some of these new builds. Contract cancellations are up because, hey, if you buy a house, you sign a contract for a $450,000 house, then a week later, a house on the other side of the neighborhood, identical floor plan, sells for $380,000. You're gonna be like, okay, what the heck's going on here? Let's go ahead and just cancel this contract, cut the losses before it even starts, and I'll wait for this housing market to cool down. Well, that is what is happening. I am definitely in the housing market right now. I have been looking at these prices, and they've steadily gone up, gone up, gone up, and they hit a peak in about May, June, and they've gone down steadily since. Now, like I said, I am not a real estate agent. I am not a real estate expert, but I am just someone with common sense. What drives prices? Seriously, what drives prices? Supply and demand. And right now, the demand is non-existent. People see how these housing prices are insanely inflated. There are $500,000 houses, and I'm looking at them. $500,000 houses they're listed for, and in my mind, they're worth $350,000, $300,000. And I saw those same identical houses listed for $300,000 just 3-4 years ago. And that is what it's going to come down to. I see this, y'all see this, And it's just not sustainable to keep these insanely high prices for these houses. These prices are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, people are buying houses sight unseen. They don't know what the area is around these houses. They don't know the condition of the house. They don't know if they had animals and they let them use the bathroom all over the house. They don't know. So when they go buy these houses sight unseen, that all of a sudden they get there, they have buyer's remorse. They sell the house, put another house on the market. Like my sister, she went to buy a house a year and a half ago, and when they went to go even see the house, when it was a open house, she had to park down the street because there were at least minimum 30 people there, and by the time they actually got up and looked at the house was already sold. There was an offer above like $30,000 above asking price, and that kind of practice is just absolutely, it's just not sustainable. People are waiving the inspections, waiving things that they shouldn't be waiving, and then when they actually buy the house, all of a sudden they're stuck with a house that may have a crumbling foundation, may have a leaking roof. There is an infinite amount of possibilities that somebody could buy a house sight unseen, that when they actually see the house, they don't want the house anymore. And you can blame this a large part to the government. The government should not be involved in the housing market. They shouldn't artificially drive these prices up, give these stimulus checks. I mean, when they were giving out stimulus checks in the previous administration, I called it then that there's going to be massive inflation. I will take that money all day long because I have no say, so I'm not in the government. But hey, there's going to be inflation. You cannot just print money and expect there to not be any kind of repercussions. And when you see this housing bubble grow, eventually it's going to pop. And I know because I was directly involved in the 2008 housing market crash. My family bought a $435,000 house. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a great school district. Well, housing market crashes. Now all of a sudden it's worth $200,000, sells for $230,000 just 2 years later. This housing market is not sustainable. Do not listen to these people who are telling you, oh no, it's going to keep growing. It's just in a very slight cool down mode. The housing market is going to crash. These house prices are far too expensive. And I'm not just saying this as somebody who wants to buy a cheap house. I'm saying this as somebody who has common sense, seeing that this bubble is just not sustainable. The demand is no longer there. As these people get foreclosed on, that's going to send even more inventory to the market, cheap inventory to the market, and people renting houses as they are getting evicted. It's going to dramatically increase the renting inventory, which is going to drive the rent price down. It's honestly a domino effect, and we are in the end stages right now. I mean, it's depressing to see to know that, these families are going to lose houses. I mean, there are a lot of people out there, champion for, foreclosures, evictions. It's not a happy thing. I mean, there are families in these houses. These people, they're going to be kicked out to the curb. They don't know what to do. Their credit score is ruined. They have a foreclosure. They have eviction on their credit score. It's not a happy thing. So I'm telling y'all, do not buy right now. Do not get into this housing market right now, even with these price decreases. And I'm in Houston. This is a very hot housing market. I mean, you look at all the markets all across the country, the Midwest, they are slowing down at a little bit slower speed than down here. Florida, they are going straight down. California, they're going straight down. As an example, now this is a little bit, it's more of an extreme example, but there was a house in Florida that was for sale for $3 million. Now, price cut to $2,200,000. That's $800,000 that house was cut. As companies demand that their workers return from remote work, all of a sudden, okay, gosh, I bought this, this property way out here in Florida and California. It's a nice vacation property, but we're going to live here because I can remote work. Oh God, now all of a sudden my company's saying I need to come back to work over in Delaware. Oh shoot, let's go ahead and sell this house. I mean, it was almost rare to drive down a street a year and a half ago and see a for sale sign. The only thing I saw was for sale and then under pending contract. That is the only thing I saw, or sold. I mean, that was the only thing you saw a year and a half ago. You drive through a neighborhood now, you will see the yards littered with for sale by owner. People are trying to sell their houses now before the bottom falls out underneath and their home is worth nothing. Oh gosh, I know I'm sweating right now. I just got done with an insane workout. But guys, just use common sense. supply and demand drives prices. The demand is non-existent right now. I see the housing crash starting. I mean, it's already started. Prices are already dramatically being cut, but look into 2023, mid 2023, the house prices are going to drop by 10, 20, 30%. I mean, it's already dropping by that in some markets around the country. So, I mean, like I said, as far as the whole topic of this video, why is big media not talking about the housing crash? Is because they're letting their friends on Wall Street get out, make their money before they announce there's a housing crash, and then all of a sudden everyone tries to sell their houses. But guys, that is it for this video. Let me know what y'all think. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. I've gotten plenty of hate mail. I've gotten a lot of love mail. Let me know down in the comments. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.